Hello, boys, ghouls, and the non-bi-scaries. Well,
I like ghouls, non-bi-scaries, and then the most scary of those, boys. Oh!
True.
I agree.
Hello, and welcome. The contents of this podcast will be very disturbing, so if you are faint of heart, stick around. It's Halloween. Why not?
It will be scary. We will be talking about racial stereotypes.
We will. Because we are talking about some fucking mummy movies today.
Yeah.
Not just some fucking mummy movies. The mummy movies, I guess. I don't know. The
No Dark Universe one.
Not the Dark Universe one. I didn't watch it. I don't think you said you watched it.
Not yet.
So we'll cover the Dark Universe one day.
Yeah, when we do the next come on. Keep it going, guys. Keep trying.
Yep.
Just keep throwing shit.
Well, I think that they're
Make that Russell Crowe Jekyll and Hyde movie.
I don't think they're gonna do that. I think they picked up on the fact that, hey, we're gonna remake all the Universal monster movies. Let's have them be horror movies. So they hired the guys from Blumhouse, like James Wan and shit, to run the shit. I'm pretty sure now, and that's why I think I still haven't seen it, but people tend to like.
I really like the new Invisible Man quite a lot.
And I think that's the real kickstart to the new Dark Universe.
The Invisible Man 2.
Which, I don't know why they call it Dark. Call it the Universal Monsterverse.
No, because it's dark. You can't see anything.
But then you don't know. It's just the Dark Universe. And it's just that could be a million different things. It doesn't harken the,
Chris Pratt is Mario.
We
didn't talk about that last episode.
Yeah, Chris, I'm fine with all of the casting minus Chris Pratt as Mario.
I was watching the Nintendo Direct when that happened.
Oh, did you?
And I was like, what? And then I was like, what? But in a more excited way.
It's
pretty much what I was. I'm like, the two after Luigi is Charlie Day and Jack Black Bowles. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt? The guy who just plays himself in every movie? I've never heard him do any voice.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as a character.
I'm Mario. I hate gay people.
And quite frankly, neither does Jack Black, but at least he's got he can when he needs to.
Yeah.
But
a lot of time he'll do a voice that's but it'll be a little bit for a minute. So I'm interested to see what he does for a whole movie. But I'm that's fine.
I'm sure it'll probably be some of the shit you hear in Tenacious D where he's oh yeah, we're down here, we're rocking, you know.
I'm gonna fucking suck your cock, Mario.
It's an Explosiva when he does the Satan lines at the end of it. Shit like that, probably. But yeah, it's they got half of the casting for the Mario Brothers, right? They got Charlie Day as Luigi, and then they missed out on Danny DeVito, the obvious choice. They were clearly looking at the It's Always Sunny cast, and it's are you...
And D is Birdo.
Dude, yes. I'd love that. Just for the joke.
Glenn Howerton is Kamek.
Yeah, fucking Matt can play one of the fucking Bowser Jr.'s just Rob McHenry or I can never pronounce his name, but Matt.
Remember when he was supposed to direct the Minecraft movie?
Was he?
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the Minecraft movie. It was announced, I think, 7 years ago.
Oh wow, probably nothing at this point.
Check. What's the news on the Minecraft movie?
But, yeah, so the Mario movie, I've been seeing a lot, I've been seeing a lot of people, pointing to how Sonic changed the, appearance of the model that they were using. And they're we gotta do the same thing for Chris Pratt. We gotta use that, public voice and outpour. And I feel it's probably too late for that. I feel it's a much different scenario. Because, I don't know, with actors and stuff, there's, contracts and... I'm sure he's maybe already been paid a specific amount for the movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it might be a little more complicated than just, alright, fans didn't like you, gotta get you out of here. It we might already be stuck with it.
They might already be.
They're probably done. It's probably in like halfway through production at this point, if they're talking about it. So it's like, but it is what it is. I
can't wait for.
Regardless, I'm sure it's not going to be a great movie in the first place.
No, it's going to be good.
I mean, isn't Illumination doing it?
Yeah, and Illumination's made at least one good movie.
What's that?
I like Sing fine.
I didn't watch.
I like Secret Life of Pets 1 fine.
I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I know them for Hop and Despicable Me movies.
They do Hop?
Yeah. I think they did Hop.
Yeah, Despicable Me 1's okay, I guess. I haven't seen it in a long time. Most of those are pretty bad. Minions is pretty bad.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. But
The Grinch is fucking awful.
Oh, yeah. I forgot they did those Dr. Seuss movies, too, like Horton Hears. I think they did Horton Hears.
No, Blue Sky... No, DreamWorks did Horton.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. That's why Horton Hears, so who's good?
Did they do the Lorax? I think they did the Lorax.
Illumination hasn't been around that long.
I think that they were... I think Despicable Me had already come out when the Lorax did, though. And that was the truth.
Yes, they did the Lorax.
Okay. That makes sense.
I don't think they did Hop, though. No, they did. You're right.
Hmm?
Directed by Tim Hill.
But yeah.
Is Hop good? Probably.
I'm sure you would probably enjoy it.
Why?
Because it's bad.
Oh.
And it's got the guy from the Sonic movie in it. Who's in other stuff, but I always just call him the guy from
You mean
Sonic.
Cyclops?
Cyclops, yes.
And the guy from Enchanted?
And the Taco Bell commercials.
Was he in Taco Bell commercials?
Yeah, like they were doing like those like Interstellar parody like
I don't remember that.
commercials, and he was like playing like the main character in that.
He should have been in Interstellar. That guy's a good actor. He's just done a lot of shit.
Yeah, he is in a lot of shit. It's like I'm sure he can do much better than a lot of the shit I've seen him in.
Did you ever see the Sonic movie?
No.
Well, when Sonic 2 comes out, I'll have us watch it.
Oh boy. Sonic's
fucking rough.
I've got like zero Sonic experience. I've never watched any of the cartoons. Well, okay, I watched a little bit of like the 90s cartoon, whichever one.
Is that the one with the hot lady?
It was the cartoonier one. It's like the one where you like the intro is him sleeping in a hammock. It's not like where they go Super Saiyan or anything. It was very much like a TMNT kind of cartoon, like the 80s
Sonic
one.
X.
Yeah, no. But I remember when I was a kid, I was like, I want to play Sonic Unleashed. That looks fun. And then I never did.
That's good. It's not a good game.
Yeah.
He turns into a werewolf. I've played a lot. Almost all of the 3D Sonic games are bad. And
that's what
real bad. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are rough games, but they're pretty fun.
Back in the day, I watched Game Grumps' run of Sonic 06. But yeah. JonTron was on that one, yes.
That guy's a piece of shit.
Yes, but, I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, me neither. It's so weird because, looking back on some of the people that were influential in my life and, my comedy, I'm like, kind of sus.
A little bit. You just take it for what it is and learn from their fucking, I don't know, just learn to, fucking pick out the shit that's oh, that was clearly the red flag that I didn't notice.
Yeah.
And shit like that. But, yeah. Let's see. What do you think of Lady... I saw, something in my anti-film group. It was a discussion about, the new Adam Driver Lady Gaga movie that's coming out. And I guess there was, a quote from, Brad Pitt saying he didn't want to work on a film with Lady Gaga because he thought it would cheapen the film. And I guess a lot of, the...
Alright, Brad Pitt. You're the one that fucking knew about your wife being sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein and continued to work with him? That seems like that cheapens the film. Fuck you!
Agreed. Anyway, the point that I was seeing brought up a lot is just how ridiculous they thought it was that she was using her like stage name, which it's like
that's like why?
I think they just think it sounds goofy.
Is it weird when Boris Karloff doesn't go by like William Hill or whatever the fuck his middle name was?
Fucking no, because like basically like most actors have a stage name. It's just that hers is a little more obvious.
And you know what else is the reason? She's a woman.
We
really like to critique women. That kind of shit pisses me off. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Also, like, it's just a casting. It's not like, oh, she's playing Lady Gaga. It's not like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if her name was Captain fucking Shit My Pants.
Yeah, it's like, there has to be examples of like 80s fucking pop stars being in like a fucking cameoing.
Cher?
Yeah, Cher. She's just credited as Cher.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Fucking Bjork is probably another example.
Yeah, I think it's just Bjork and like...
Dancer in the Dark.
Yeah.
The one movie, which I still
She's in other movies, just not since then.
That
ruined her experience. Which I'm like, I've heard that movie's like so fucking good, and I'm like, God damn it, Lars von Trier.
Yeah, dude. I don't like Lars von Trier. At least not as a person.
Yeah.
And I haven't liked... Like, I liked Antichrist.
Yeah.
But, like, I think that's the only movie of his I've seen that I liked.
Yeah. I really liked House of Jackville, but I completely understand why you didn't. I'm like,
yeah.
There are tons of movies that I'm like, yeah, no, that makes sense that somebody wouldn't like this movie.
Yeah, there's like an Ingmar Bergman documentary where he talks about, like, he's, like, sitting in Ingmar Bergman's office, and he's like, man, I bet that guy jacked off in here a lot. It's just like...
I mean, probably.
Probably, but it's
But what a weird thing to say.
Yeah. But, yeah, he just seems kind of like a creep in real life. Didn't he, like, do something during, like, the press of, like, Melancholia where he was basically, like... I want to say he was, like, borderline, like, being a Nazi apologist, and, like... I know that he said something during, like, the press run for that made, what's... I always want to call her Hilary Swank, but it's not...
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. That she was just like, like, you visibly just like, I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm just trying to fill the time since we're not talking about what we watched this week. And we don't usually dive into just random, like, movie topics or news. Maybe we should do that a little more.
We should. Yeah, there are tons of things, but... Dungeon Toilet. Still really bad. Still sitting right here. Yeah, really rough. Here, I'll go through some of my newest purchases.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. New One Piece chapter tomorrow.
I'm so behind. I haven't picked up my comics for the week, but here's some of the stuff I've bought recently. I think there's another thing on the ground right here. Oh. Yeah, the High Republic issue number 9. I think I'm up to like 6. I haven't read the rest. I bought the new Dark Ages, where it's like, oh, what if the power went out? Blue and Gold number 2. I got the Suicide Squad cover just because there was only one left. I really like the first issue of that. Haven't read this one. Masters of Revelation number 3. Haven't read the second one. And then I picked up this one because the cover looked really cool. It's called Parasomnia. I have no idea what it's about, but it looks fucking sick. And I looked at a couple of pages and it looks cool. And then I also bought the Neo Parasite books, which are like anthology stories in the Parasite universe.
Yeah.
Haven't read them yet because, I just spend all my time being sad.
Me too.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. We did it.
Here, I'll come up with a couple questions from Pierre. Who would win?
Wait, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I'm going to see what's the top trending, what's the biggest news story on r/movies right now.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm looking. Look, a new poster for House of Gucci. Besides that, I'm actually really excited. So House of Gucci comes out really soon, and The Last Duel. Both Ridley Scott movies. I really hope both are good, because I'm really excited for both, and Adam Driver's in both. And I want Adam Driver to be in good things.
Yeah. The key to knowing if a Ridley Scott movie is going to be good is just look at who's screenwriting it.
That's true. Let's check. Let's check who's screenwriting House of Gucci. All right. Let's see. Okay. Roberto Vegna. Screenwriting credits, House of Gucci.
Oh.
Becky Johnston has written 7 Years in Tibet by Jean-Jacques Annou. And they also wrote The Prince of Tides, the movie directed by Barbara Streisand.
Oh.
She wrote the screenplay for Under the Cherry Moon, which is a movie Prince directed. Kind of funky.
Interesting.
Pretty interesting. And let's check who's writing The Last Duel. Who's doing it? Who's writing The Last Duel?
Adam Driver.
Oh, actually, yeah. It's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
They wrote it?
Yeah. I mean,
are they? Is it like an old script, or are they friends again?
I mean, they're both in the movie, so I think they're friends again.
Oh, okay. I thought they broke up like a handful of years ago. I don't know. I don't really like either of them. So
yeah, I think Matt Damon's fine. I think he's fine.
Yeah. There's stuff.
Ben Affleck's like a piece of shit, but Matt Damon.
There's stuff with Matt Damon that I've seen where I'm like,
okay, everyone's bad.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. I really like Good Will Hunting. I thought that, well, at least the last time I watched it, which was like 5 years ago.
I agree.
And I've heard The Town's really good, which I think they both wrote. Or maybe, no, just kidding. Just Ben Affleck wrote that one.
Okay.
But, yeah. I don't know. I'll give it, I hope it's good. I really, really hope it's good.
That'd be nice.
But yeah, Ridley Scott, I believe in you. I do. You're kind of a weirdo, but most of the directors we talk about are weirdos.
Yeah.
Except Kelly Reichardt. I hope she's having a great day.
Me too.
And Agnes Varda, wherever you are. I don't know if you're just in a hole or if there's something happening, but I hope you're doing okay.
Me too.
I miss her every day. Remember when she dressed like a potato?
I do. I was just talking to my friend yesterday about Agnes Varda, and I gave her my set to borrow. Can't believe that director did her dirty like that.
Who? Dude?
Yeah, the one other new wave director whose name I can't think of off the top of my head.
Godard?
Yeah, the one who was like wouldn't see her.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I think he's still alive too. We're gonna beat up that old guy. All right, let's jump into it. The Mummy, 1932.
This movie.
You really like this movie, right?
I do. It's mostly for Boris Karloff.
That's fair. He's got some good presence in this one.
He does.
I don't think I like his presence as much as like Frankenstein. It's definitely different, but he's good in this one.
Yeah. So basically, standard run of the mill mummy movie, but not for the time because they didn't really. I don't know if there were many mummy movies before this. I don't think so. But basically, Boris Karloff plays a resurrected mummy named Imhotep, who comes back posing as a guy named Ardith Bey. And he's basically trying to sway the reincarnation of his long-lost love into, going with him into the afterlife. basically, I don't know, the whole movie's basically just kind of him showing up, and he's able to, like, channel her and, like, beckon her to him under, like, a kind of hypnotic state, so she'll keep, like, going out at night, and they'll be like, where the hell are you going? And, like, he has the power to just, like, fucking kill people telepathically from, like, really far away. He's definitely, like, an imposing, powerful character.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, basically,
it's kind of weird how, like, different the Hammer movie is to this, because, like, he's not just a mummy in this.
Yeah.
He's just, like, a resurrected, pretty much necromancer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. The more stock, like, shambling, like, wrapped up mummy slasher came from, like, the mummy's hand and stuff like that onwards. Which was what Hammer was borrowing more from. But here, yeah, he's just, like, it's kind of like the, like, Brendan Fraser mummy that those would be, like, more familiar with, where he's human most of the movie, or appears human. But yeah, basically, so yeah, he's trying to get her to, like, come over, and he has her kind of convinced, but obviously she's not really making this decision of her, like, own free will. She's clearly, like, very confused and doesn't quite understand, like, she's figuring shit out, processing it, and isn't really in control for most of the movie, but at the end, she, like, kind of comes to right before he's about to kill her, and she's like, oh, fuck this. And one thing I love about this movie is, like, the guys don't come save her. She, like, I mean, it's kind of a Deus Ex Machina, because she, like, prays to Isis, and, like...
I do, too.
The god, like... the god, like, statue, like, basically just lights him on fire and kills him. But, I like that it's not, like... Oh no, I'm the damn... Like, she is, but she kind of gets herself out of the situation, which I really appreciate, especially for a movie from this time period. But yeah.
There's some really interesting dialogue from her, too. Because she remembers, like, who she is and stuff, but she's like, but that's not me anymore. Like, I'm still this person, too, and I can't throw that away. There's, like, some really interesting, like, dialogue, like, internal monologue kind of deal going on with her that I really enjoy in this movie. I'm like, that's some cool shit for the 30s. I'm like, I like it.
No, definitely. And she's got, like, a love interest. He's a plank of wood. He's not really relevant.
Yeah, I was really let down by him. Pretty much a lot of the characters in this movie besides...
Yeah. Edward Van Sloan returns as a doctor, scientist, professor once again.
Same thing. I wasn't really a fan of him in this movie. I don't know. Like I said, outside of Imhotep and her, I was pretty let down by the characters.
That's totally fair. I agree with you. Yeah. I think that he had a tendency, kind of like Peter Cushing, where it's like you can tell he kind of got typecasted into the same specific role, like, over and over and over again. Same with Lee, I guess, too, but he was always like the monster, which the monsters always had some differentiating features. Whereas, like, I feel like in the Hammer movies, you could just place Peter Cushing's character pretty much anywhere, and it generally more or less feels the same, aside from maybe Frankenstein. But, which is he's more mean in those movies. But, I like this movie. I love the fucking, look of the mummy, both when it's, like, in its bandage form and when Ardith Bay, like, comes out, because he's, like, you can see, like, bandages that have kind of, like, faded onto his face, and it's, like, super cool looking. Yeah. I love the shots when they're just, like, looking at his eyes. It's, like, very, like, mesmerizing, and really just kind of helps sell the ethereal feel to it. And, like, the woman, too, like, I don't know her character's name, but she also does, like, a very good job at, like, looking, like, just, like, mesmerized by him. Yeah. It really, like, harkens, like, that Candyman thing that I like from that movie, too.
The one where they hypnotize the actress?
Allegedly. I don't know if I buy that.
I do.
Go ahead. But...
I want you to believe what you cannot.
Good luck with that one. Anyway.
You believe in Ant-Man?
Do I believe in Ant-Man?
Yeah.
No, but I believe in Ant-Eater Man.
You believe in Paul Rudd?
Well, yeah, I believe in Paul Rudd. No. I've seen him in 2 different versions of Halloween 6.
And he's incredible in both.
Sure.
He's the best part.
That's true. Yeah. I love the effect at the end when Ardith Bay is dying and his, like, face, like, slowly, like, fades into a skull. I like that shot. Pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's a simple movie.
Yeah.
It's like an hour long. But yeah, I like it.
I like this movie. I think it took me a bit to get into this one specifically. I'm like,
yeah, it's definitely a slow movie.
Yeah. But once I got into it, I'm like, okay, I'm enjoying this. And once it showed a little more of Ardith Bay and her more, like their relationship, I was like, okay, I'm more intrigued. Just the rest of the characters really probably like brought the movie down for me.
Fair.
But yeah, in general, it was pretty good. Pretty good. Mm-hmm. Probably my least favorite of the 3 like Universal ones we've watched. And from this time period, maybe about on par with Dracula. Just Frankenstein's leaks better than both for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, that movie's incredible. At least to me.
I agree. I like Frankenstein more than I like this movie. But I definitely like this movie a fair amount more than I like Dracula, personally.
That's fair, too.
But yes.
You would give this one a 7?
Probably like a high 6.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
You would give this one a 6.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's talk about Christopher Lee in brownface.
It does happen.
It does happen, which is really annoying because it's my favorite of the 3.
That's fair.
I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
Mummy, 1959.
It basically blends the best aspects, for the most part, of the, like, Karras mummy movies from Universal into, like, one film. And they do a pretty good job at it. I really like the scenes where, like, the mummy is actually chasing people. Like, I think my favorite scene in the movie is when it, like, first comes for, fucking Peter Cushing's character. And he's like jump, because Peter Cushing's got a limp in this movie. He like broke his leg and he was
didn't get like set properly.
Yeah, so he's walking around with a limp the whole time. And he's like hopping over a desk and he's like shooting at it and it's not stopping. He hops up on a bookshelf and grabs like a spear and tries to spear it through him and it doesn't work. And it's just like this big, like kind of short but fun action sequence. Yeah. If I had one major critique outside of the brown face in this movie, I would say I wish they introduced the element of the wife a little earlier. It definitely feels like it just pops up in the last quarter of the movie.
Yeah, I would agree.
It becomes kind of a big plot
It's like
point.
a central plot. Yeah, it's like, okay, this is where we're going with the ending. Like, what if you would introduce this idea in the first quarter instead of the last quarter of the movie?
I agree. But, yeah, basically, so the plot of this one, it follows a different mummy from what we're going to be talking about.
This is called Karnak?
Karras.
Are you sure?
Like, Karras, like, yeah. I just watched, like, this and, like, the other 4 movies that mummy is in. The god that they worship is like something close to Karnak, though. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
It might be Karnak. That might be what I'm thinking of.
Okay. But basically, yeah, so like the plot of these movies, the setup's kind of similar to like the original Mummy, where basically, we forgot to even talk about that. We were talking about the other Mummy. Where basically like,
oh yeah, they opened the mummy.
They opened the mummy. But on top of that, the backstory where he's like, basically this man's romantically involved with the
high priest's like daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And she dies, and he tries to, like, he basically performs, like, a forbidden resurrection spell, but gets caught, sentenced to death. But in this version, instead of just straight up being, like, killed, he's kind of given the task. It's like, all right, you're going to be, like, the guardian of her tomb then, and make sure that nothing ever happens to her. Princess Ananka, they call her. Ananka, yeah. Throughout most of the movies. So basically, someone will fuck with her tomb, take her away, and then, like, in the old movies, he'll always, like, all right. There's always, like, one guy, one Egyptian guy, and it's, like, the funny thing about the old Universal ones is, like, there's always, like, a, like, transition of power. It's like some old guy's dying, he's like, all right, I need to tell you the secret behind Karis. You use these leaves. They're leaves in the old films. But basically, like, we follow just the one Egyptian guy in this movie. And, he follows them to London, or wherever the fuck it is they're at. Somewhere over there in England. But,
jolly old England.
Because he basically warned them before they infiltrated Ananka's grave, or tomb. He's like, don't do this. This sucks. This is disrespectful. Don't do it. And they're like, fuck you. We're going to do it anyway. So he's like, all right, you're all going to die. And he's like, whatever. So then, they go, and the dad, who's played by Donald Pleasance, gets sees, Karis there, and he's like, becomes like mentally unstable for the rest of his life. So a few years pass after they come back to, like, England. I think it's been a few years, right?
Yeah, it's 3 or 5.
Yeah. And they come back, and this Egyptian guy follows them, brings Karis. He falls into a swamp, which is a tribute to one of the old ones.
So then he looks like he has shit on him the whole movie.
Yes. And basically, like, he resurrects him from the swamp and sends him one at a time to kill the 3 people who are the primary infiltrators of the tomb, which they're all related. They're like a son, a father, and an uncle. Mm-hmm. And the father and the uncle go first. And then Peter Cushing plays the son, and the mummy comes after him, and he's like, no, I'm prepared for this mummy, but not really. There's like a cop who's like, all right, I kind of believe you, and I've got these 2 drunk guys who are my only men right now. So we're going to help you with the mummy. They're no help at all. But,
makes sense. They're police officers.
There is the plot point where he realizes his wife looks exactly like this highly detailed sketch that they have of Princess Ananka.
It's like, holy shit, this looks like my wife!
But only when her hair is down, not when it's up. Which is so fucking stupid. So there's like a scene where he's like strangling Peter Cushing.
He's like, put your hair down!
And then she puts the hair down, and he's like, alright, stop. And it's like obviously this happens before those movies, but it reminds me a lot of like Jason Voorhees when like someone puts on, like, Pamela's sweater.
Jason, I'm your mother. I'm also 10 years old.
Yes, it's like, so you are. You got the sweater, you must be.
That's true.
It's a fun fact. It was actually the sweater that gave birth to Jason Voorhees.
Is that true?
No.
Could be.
I was going to say...
You mean a Deadeye.
You've seen them all now.
Still don't watch the remake.
No, that's not going to introduce any new lore. It's just gonna rehash old shit. But
we should make a Friday the 13th movie. He's gonna be gay in this one, though.
I've had this, like, concept for a Friday the 13th movie in my back pocket for years, but it would never get made because it'd be way too much fucking money.
Does he go to space again?
No. Okay.
He goes to heaven.
I don't know if I want to discuss it in the middle of our mummy movie breakdown. At least give me in between the Brendan Fraser.
No, it's fine. We'll talk about it after. Okay. So the mummy, most of it is at the end. She's just like, stop. and then he stops, and then they fucking blow him to smithereens.
Yeah.
I like that scene. There's like fire everywhere. It reminds me of fucking The Last Jedi. It was like, shoot him! And he's like, more!
Yeah.
Like, that's like that.
There's a scene in one of the Halloween movies when eventually, whenever we get around to covering those, one of the movies has this very similar sequence in it.
Reminds me of the beginning of Jason Goes to Hell. When the Strike Force shows
up. Just everything they've got at him. But yes. So, yeah, then he dies in the swamp and cut to credits.
There's a couple really cool parts about this movie. I really like the Egyptian guy's name. What was his name?
I don't remember, but
Mehmet Bey. I think his interactions with John Banning, Peter Cushing's character, are really cool. Like, there's some really cool dialogue I really like.
I like that they were willing to have that conversation in this movie about...
Yeah.
That most mummy movies just are like, no, we're white people on an adventure. It's gonna take it. But this movie at least acknowledges it's like, hey, man, like... It's like... Why do you do this? And he's like, well, for the knowledge. And he's like, yeah, but you're basically just like unsealing stuff that was never meant to be uncovered.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And why is it your right to do that? Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think you should be allowed to do that? Not like the people.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, and there's like just their conversations really remind me of like a intellectual like battle of wits. Like, they're both like well-educated men, and he talks a lot about how like there's a couple lines where he talks about like I may be like highly educated in like Western civilizations like idea of education, but that doesn't take away like generations of knowledge of like my people and stuff. And there's some really interesting ideas there. I'm like, that's really cool. Now, why is Christopher Lee in brown face? Which is annoying because Christopher Lee is like a really good mummy, and he's like pretty fun to watch in those scenes. But I'm just like, why?
Yeah,
it's like, not literally like
I'd be okay with it if they literally just didn't. Like,
yeah, if he was just white, I'd be like, that's funny.
It's like, all right, fine.
Still,
because he's like, speaking with like a fucking British accent anyway.
Oh, Imhotep.
And it's just like, okay, cool.
Or I am Karis.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, it's just one of those tone deaf things where it's like, you know, they're totally aware on one front, but just completely left the back door open. Yeah. But
and then I think the like action scenes and the kills are pretty fun. There's one time where he like slides in through a window.
Yeah,
that's fucking so fun to watch. And we're like, oh god.
I like, yeah, dude. It's just a lot of those scenes are fun. I like the kind of like slasher mummy vibes.
Yeah. No, and I think Christopher Lee really fits this physicality for like the mummy. Like, I think he was really bad as the monster for Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But this and Dracula, I think like he nails like the physical performance of it.
I don't even think it was his physicality that was wrong with Frankenstein. I think it was just mostly that the makeup looked really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Whereas
the costuming looks really rough in that movie too.
Yeah, it was a lot cheaper.
Like, it just looks like a jacket, but not like... It literally just looks like a jacket you found from the thrift store. And I guess you could argue, like, yeah, he probably just found a jacket from the thrift store. But I'm just like, nah. It needs to be iconic.
Yeah, tear it up.
Tear it up. Come on, a little.
But, yeah, so... The Mummy from 1959.
It has its problems and it's a little like, oof, but I ended up really enjoying this one.
Yeah.
Very fun. My favorite Hammer film that I've seen. Like, from this era, at least. I know Hammer's done other movies since. Like, they're still a company, but...
Yeah.
But from this era, my favorite.
That's fair. I probably like some of the Dracula movies.
Yeah, I've seen 3 now. You've seen a lot more than me.
But this one's a lot of fun. I haven't seen any of the Mummy sequels that they did, because they did, I think, at least like 2 more after this one.
Let me check.
And I hear those aren't very good
at all. They did Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. They did The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. And they did The Mummy's Shroud.
And I don't even think any of those have Christopher Lee, do they?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. But, yes. You would give this one a 7.
Yeah. You would give this one 6? 7?
Yeah. Alrighty.
Let's talk about Brendan Fraser. He's really hot in this movie. 1999, The Mummy.
Yeah. I love the scene where he commits sexual assault.
Yeah. There's a lot of sexual assault against Rachel Weisz's character in this movie. It's very annoying. Okay. So, I think this movie could be incredible. I think it has the potential. There are so many scenes I really, really like, and there's so many ideas that are there. And then it's like really racist at times, and then other times it's just really uncomfortable. Because there's like sexual assault that's played off for like, oh, but it's okay, he's cute. Oh, he was dying or something like that. Like, no!
Yeah.
And also it's just too long. There's like a lot of fun scenes in that 2 hours, but like,
definitely,
I think you could keep
belly drags in the middle.
Yeah, I think you could keep all those cool scenes, cut out like 20 minutes maybe. Mm-hmm. Sit at like an hour, 40 minutes. I don't really know why it's 2 hours. I don't think they do a ton with that time.
Yeah.
But like, it has some really cool parts. I like, Binslew, I think is his last name, the guy who plays the mummy. I think he's cool. Mm-hmm. I think he fits the role.
Yeah. I generally like most, if not all, of the cast. I think that a lot of the characters are fun. Like I like the brother to Eliza's character.
Yeah.
He's a total scumbag, but he's kind of fun and written to be that way.
Oded Fair is in it. He's so fucking awesome.
Does he play Ardith?
Yeah.
Yeah. I find it interesting that they named his character Ardith Bay. I didn't realize that when we were watching it here.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went home and watched the sequel, and they're like, Ardith Bay, what are you doing here? I'm like, wait, his character's name Ardith Bay? What the fuck? But it works. It's like a cool little, like, tribute.
Man, they really fucked up that third movie. Like, nobody's in it. Because they don't have Ardith Bay in it.
Oh, yeah.
Does he die in the second one?
No, he lives.
And they don't have...
But it doesn't take place in Egypt. It takes place in China.
Yeah, but, like, he's their friend at that point. He could be there.
He could be, but it's not affecting him personally.
Brendan Fraser could be like, hey, my buddy, I need some help.
True. And how many years after The Mummy Returns did that come out? Because, like, isn't there, like, son in that movie, like...
He's like
full-grown adult.
But I mean, like, it's not. It came out 7 years later. But there's so like, The Mummy takes place in like what, the 20s or something.
Yeah, around there.
I think it did kind of the thing, like the newer X-Men prequels did the same thing, where it's like each movie takes place like 10 years later, even though that makes no fucking sense in there. It's the same thing for this, because their son in The Mummy Returns is like 10 years old, even though it's filmed like 2 years later.
Yeah.
And then 7 years later, oh, the son's like 22 now or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, Brendan Fraser looks incredible for supposedly being like 55 years old or something.
Yeah. Right.
Jet Li's in that movie.
He is.
He plays the Dragon Emperor.
Mm-hmm. I can't comment.
It's so shit. I remember going into that movie the last time I watched it. I'm like, maybe it's good. Maybe people are joking. I'm like, nope.
I watched the trailer and I saw it had a Yeti in it. And I was like, oh.
It does have a Yeti.
This seems...
I remember the Yeti scene. When I was a kid, I remember liking the Yeti scene.
It just seems like a little too much. I wish that they would have just stuck with, like, mummy mythos. But, you know. Whatever.
Well, I was talking about... I was reading an article about how... Or it was somebody talking about, like, how they wish that there could have been a real, like, resurgence in Universal movies right around this time if it was just Rick O'Connell, like, going on adventures and encountering all the different, like, Universal monsters.
That would have been an interesting take on it. For sure. No.
I think that could work really well. Or could have. You know what? Bring it back. It's fine. He's just... I think he's honestly, perfect. He could play Van Helsing now. like an older, like I think he'd still be a little younger than like older Van Helsing, but I think, he could do it.
He could. Or they could theoretically do a soft reboot like they've been doing for several other horror
He could be
franchises.
Dr. Frankenstein.
I mean, personally, I don't know. I wouldn't cast him in either of those roles because
He could be the monster.
I don't think he really fits.
He could be the monster.
I could see him being like one of like Lucy's suitors, even though he's a little old.
No, have you seen him in that cowboy hat? He could totally be fucking
Quincy Morris.
Quincy Morris, yeah. Yeah, he's a little old, but just age up the characters.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Let's have an adventure movie with old people. Come on.
Why
When was the
not?
last time we had a good adventure movie with old people? The Last Crusade with Sean Connery. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Eventually we'll get Indiana Jones 5 where he's 1 billion years old.
Yeah, he's going to be old.
Harrison Ford is looking like a mummy lately.
That's probably true. I haven't seen a picture of him since like... it's weird to think because it's like, oh, I've seen him recently in like The Force Awakens and Blade Runner, but those came out like...
I mean, you saw The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
He shows up. That's such a... They ruined it. That scene had so much potential, and they used the wrong fucking ghost. Oh, I'm heated.
Well, yeah.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
They didn't want to use Leia.
They could have had Anakin.
Oh,
The whole idea of the
could've.
character.
But do you think the fan base... I mean, personally, I think it'd be cool. But you know that there would have been a shit ton of people who are just like, oh my god, they brought Hayden Christensen back in
I mean, he's showing up in the Obi-Wan show.
Yeah, but that'll probably be pretty good. You know.
At
least I'm
very
fingers
excited.
crossed.
Oh, also, Book of Boba Fett got a release date.
Nice.
December 22nd it starts. Did you ever watch Mandalorian?
No,
We'll watch that.
Well, I need to pick back up my Star Wars grind because I need to read that comic miniseries and that book, and then I need to finish the Clone Wars, the final season, and then I'm probably gonna watch Rebels, and then I'll probably watch the Mandalorian after because I was just going in order. I was just like, fuck it. I know I don't have to, but I feel like I'd pick up on like more tiny little Easter eggs and references if I finish the Clone Wars and Rebels. So.
Yeah. But yeah, the Mummy. Same kind of deal. It's Imhotep again. The white people they're like, oh, it's fine. They raise him. He starts killing a lot of people.
Yeah, like plague, like...
Sending meteors down.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? So they're like, okay, we better stop him. And then they stop him.
Yeah.
There's some other same kind of deal. Rachel Weisz is like, oh, she looks like the wife a little bit?
A little bit. The sequel, we find out, they elaborate a little more. She's the reincarnation of the soul, and there's a reincarnation of the look-alike.
Yeah.
So he needs to fuse them or something.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Because he's like, alright, whatever.
Remember the scene in 2 when Rick O'Connell stabs the Scorpion King? And he's like, no!
Yeah.
Imhotep's just like, oh! Very funny.
I like, because it's like, that scene's funny because it's just like, alright. Because the brother's like, I'm a pro at this. And he tosses it and the mummy catches it. And he's like, ha ha! And then he tosses it and then Brendan Fraser catches it. And it's just like, oh, it's just like a scene of just multiple people throwing and getting there. It's like, wow, all of you guys have really great aim and really great catching skills. But, yeah. No, I really like the ending sequence to The Mummy Returns. That last, half hour of that movie's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The first
I like
hour and a half.
I like the bus scene quite a bit.
Yeah, I like the bus scene. I like generally most of the action scenes in that movie.
Remember the kid climbs through the toilet?
Yes.
Classic.
But
we're talking about the Mummy one.
Most of that movie in terms of plot. Very not good. But, it is what it is.
I think at its core, this movie has a cool central plot that has some cool ideas in it. And it's just, it doesn't have a great script. And its pacing's really bad. But it has some likable characters. It has some fun action scenes, and it has some really fun performances. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of an annoying movie to watch, because every time I watch it, I enjoy it, but I'm like, this movie's so close to being a lot better than it is.
Yeah. I also wish that they gave the Mummy more of a presence. I don't doubt that actor could have, like, the presence for it, but just, like, the way that they presented it they never gave him, like, that kind of moment.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like, I think that they definitely could have enhanced that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, he definitely, like, by the time the second one comes around, hell, even in this one, he kind of feels like a joke. Like, I don't take him very seriously. And
it's definitely like a more fun, like, adventure movie. But you can still, but there are still, like, horrifying elements. Like, the scarab things are fucking scary. Those freaked me the hell out as a kid.
That's fair.
Like, they're still, like, unnerving. I'm like, that's fucking, I don't like that. Like, crawls in your skin and eats your brain. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to be in that situation. That'd definitely suck.
I'm just imagining that movie coming out, like, this year, and how fucking horrifying the, like, modeling would look like nowadays, because it's just like a dumb CG bump now, and it still, like, gives me, like, the heebie-jeebies. But watching it now, if they did it now, I'd be like, oh god!
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll remake The Mummy again.
Yeah.
I'm sure they probably will eventually, but it'll probably be a couple years.
I mean, I'll be the main character. I'll be the white guy that fucks up everything.
There you go. And I'll be a tiny little mummy.
I'm the mummy.
I'll be like, what's Amumu? Is that the...
Amumu from League of Legends?
Yeah.
Classic. We should start playing League of Legends for the channel.
No.
We're gonna watch the League show.
They're doing a show?
Uh-huh. It's called Arcane.
I guess that makes sense. It's got a lot of lore.
Oh, shit, lore. Got him. Yeah, I like some of the soundtrack in this movie quite a bit. I just, like I said, it's a tiring movie to watch because I want it to be better than it is.
I get that.
Brendan Fraser is fantastic in this movie, though. Oh. He really did have the presence of, like, a great action star, and it's really unfortunate, like, all the shit he went through. But I'm glad he's bringing it back.
Yeah. I think that if they had decided to, like, remake Indiana Jones in the 90s, he would have been a perfect, like, person for it. Definitely would have been a different kind of...
it's definitely, like...
He's less gruff than Harrison Ford is.
Less professor, more punchy.
Yeah. But, yeah, I generally like this movie, but yeah, it's definitely got a fucking laundry list of issues.
Yeah.
But yeah. You would give this one a 5?
I'd give it a 6.
Okay.
Looks like you're on the wrong side of the river! Oh. Classic line.
Yeah.
One thing I will talk about real quick before I really like the ending sequence where Benny's running with them and they're like trying to get out. And Rick still, after everything, he still tries to help Benny leave.
Yeah, I like that
it's
scene
like,
too.
Because Rick's kind of a dick throughout he's like, oh, I'm a dickhead. But at the end of the day, he's still trying to help. And Benny at one point was his friend. He's like trying to help him. I'm like, I really like just that small exchange. And he's like, bye, Benny. I'm like, oh, sad. And then Benny gets eaten alive. Yeah. Classic Benny. You would give this a 6? Mm-hmm. Okay. We did it. Yeah. The Mummies. Oh, wow. Thomas. Your shirt. It reminds me of what we're watching next.
Wow. So we're going to watch a lot of Halloween.
Dun, 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 dun.
So.
Halloween 1.
Halloween 2.
Halloween 2. Halloween 3.
Halloween 4.
Halloween 5.
Halloween 6.
H2O. Is that the next one?
H2O Resurrection. And then.
Yes, we're going to watch all those. And then. Also 2018, right? And then we're just going to do the review?
That, or do you want to do, like... Do you want to save, like, 2018 and Kills for, like, the review? Will be, like, the new universe or the new timeline?
No, we'll cover both in that review.
Or do you think it would probably get more clicks if we just covered Halloween Kills, right?
Yeah. When we care about the clicks so much.
Well,
Hey guys, I want your money.
we gotta try to get our somehow, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm down for either one.
Yeah, we're going to do all those plus Halloween 2018. And then we're also going to be reviewing the new one, but that'll be a separate thing.
All right. Hold on. We have to address which version of 6, because there's the theatrical cut, but then there's the funny producer's cut, which makes a lot more sense, but also at the same time a lot less sense. And I really want you to watch that version, but I don't want to force you to watch an extra film.
The producer's cut. Yeah, we'll watch that one.
Okay. Sounds good. But, yeah. The theatrical cut really doesn't... It changes a decent...
Is that the one where he gets drop-kicked?
No, that's Resurrection.
Okay. That's the good
6
one,
is the one with Paul Rudd.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll get to watch a Paul Rudd where he actually is more involved in the climax compared to the theatrical cut.
I want Paul Rudd to be involved in my climax. Anyway, thanks for watching Screen Weens.
Have a good one.